Everybody, welcome to Legacy TV and welcome to the Convo podcast. And you guys know we are a big fan of women's MMA and women's jiu-jitsu. And today I have the champ, the A1 champ in the house today, sitting right here with us on the Convo. We got the champion of A1 Combat. Welcome to the show, Taylor Mauldin. How you doing?
What's
Welcome.
up? Nice to meet you.
Welcome to the show. How's everything doing?
Everything's good.
Did you train today?
I did, definitely.
All right. So tell me, this A1 Combat, how long have you been fighting for them for?
I've been signed with them for going on a year now.
A year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who were you fighting for before that?
Before this, I was signed with Fury.
Fury.
And before that, LFA. And other than that, nothing.
LFA. Do you know Ed Soares?
I've probably have interacted with him, but
the manager of LFA. Shout out to Ed. What's up, Ed? Ed should be coming through in the next couple of weeks. That's why. So you fought for Ed first. That's cool. That's a great place to fight.
Yeah.
So you right off the bat, you started fighting for big promotions, good promotions.
I remember thinking like, oh shit, am I gonna be okay? Like, am I gonna be able to handle that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was excited.
But let's start from the beginning. So, where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Mariloma, Harupa Valley, and then I had moved to the
Say that one more time.
Mariloma, Harupa Valley.
Mariloma, Harupa?
Harupa? Yeah.
Okay.
Harupa Valley.
Jurupa?
Yes.
I think I've seen that along the highway.
Yeah.
But I never hung out there though.
No.
But okay, so you grew up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I had moved to the high desert, and then from the high desert, moved back to like Rancho, IE area.
And did you grow up with your sister and your mom and dad?
Yeah. We have a pretty big family, so obviously Lisa was always around.
Lisa, for those of you that don't know, Lisa is her sister, and Lisa also fights professionally in mixed martial arts and fights for PFL and Bellator now because they're combined. But okay, so so a lot of people might not know Lisa's story, and they might not.
Yeah, of course.
You guys have your own different angles on your story. So as you were growing up with Lisa, did you get along with Lisa?
We were obviously we're best friends, but
Lisa's the older sister, right?
Yeah.
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 I know because I have kids and I see how like 1 minute they are best friends and then the next minute they're like, I'm not talking to her.
Yeah, we've had those moments where we beat each other up and then our dad makes us hug each other and then it's all better.
I remember one day like my kids would argue and stuff and I had like they would never really get too physical. Like it may be a push here and there, but one day I was like I came out in the living room and they just started full on like jab cross, like throwing blows at each other in the hall. I was like, what the hell? Like, no, you guys gotta cut that shit out. Like, what are you girls doing?
It's a funny story because at the time when we were young, we did karate, and I remember I was thinking like, I'm gonna fucking
shit, you guys were doing fucking flying fucking side kicks and front kicks in the house?
No, I don't know, like a roundhouse kick. That's what it was, and I was like, that's when it hit me. And when I hit her with that roundhouse kick, I was like, this is bullshit. Fucking karate sucks. Dad, sign me up for something else. That shit don't work.
That's right. Lisa was saying you started in karate. Did you like karate?
We loved it. You know, we went around all the United States competing.
Yeah.
My dad, he loved like the sparring aspect, but we loved the forms and stuff, the girly stuff. And so eventually that's what transcended into like us competing in MMA was the karate. But yeah, that's where we started. Yeah,
so you were into the forms and stuff. I remember doing forms. I actually when I was young, I was like very bad kid, you know. So my mom would try to put me in every fucking sport you can imagine. I played everything, you know what I mean? I was in water polo. I was on the competition swim team. I played football, soccer, baseball, basketball, wrestling, you name it, boxing. Like she tried to put me in everything because she knew like if I wasn't busy, I was gonna be in trouble. So I remember I didn't like the forms though. I like to break shit though, and I love to spar, and I would always get in trouble because like if there was sparring as a young kid, I would hit too hard, and I would get yelled at, and then that kind of made me not like martial arts. Because that was the fun part for me, and then like the kid was allowed to hit me, but if I hit him back, it was like I would get in trouble. So that's why I didn't really like it. But I started martial arts really young, and that's kind of like a good path that you got started. And were you doing any competitions in the karate? Like, yeah. And were you winning? Were you placing?
Yeah, I'd always at least get to semifinals, but I think during that time I was like in my rebel phase, and so right around that time I was like trying to like run away and do my own thing, and then
while you were doing karate.
Yeah.
What age time period was this? You would say?
Probably around 13, 14.
13, 14.
Yeah.
You were doing karate and you were running away at the same time.
I sure was.
Why were you running away?
I just I think I struggled with authority. And I didn't
your dad was strict?
Yeah, my dad was pretty strict. I wanted to go against the system at a young age, and I was like, ain't no one gonna tell me what to do. And
why though? Why do you like? Because I'm curious too. Because I raised girls. I have 2 daughters that I raised by myself. I have a son as well, but my daughters I've raised on my own, and the oldest one I've raised her whole life. But what do you think it is that caused you? Like, did you not at the time understand that your dad was like he loved you and he wanted to protect you? Maybe that's why he was the way he was and why he was strict.
Yeah, of course. So now as an adult, I see that. But as a kid, no, I had no idea. I think that I just felt like I was being told what to do. Yeah. And I didn't realize.
That's what my daughters think. They think you hate me.
Exactly.
Why would I hate you? You're my daughter.
Me. I just want to have fun. Let me live.
But yeah, I mean, like, I think that's a father and a daughter. I feel like have a different relationship than, a daughter and a mom. And I think, like, especially like if a guy that, has been with different women and stuff throughout their life, they're very overprotective of their daughters. They want their daughters to be treated well. They want to protect their daughters. So they might be a little bit overprotective, which kind of could work against them in a way. Yeah. And then they, instead of the daughter talking to the father about things, they want to end up doing stuff behind their back. Exactly. And then, then that relationship is lost. And then I feel like that's when the girls end up getting in trouble and stuff and making mistakes. Mm-hmm. So you were running away because you wanted to do what you wanted to do, 13, 14. And then what happens?
And then
were you like doing any drugs or anything like that, or
no? I stayed away from drugs. It was more just hanging out. I wanted to like experience life, what I thought was life, and
what was what you thought was life?
I think I wanted a boyfriend, and that was chasing a boy.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Dang it. Yes, I was that kid.
At 13, 14, you thought that was what was more important than anything else.
Yeah, I did. I think I don't know. We were always in the gym and I loved it. I was passionate about it, but I also just wanted to live a little. So yeah, that's what happened at the time. So
you had met a boy that you liked.
I did. And then we had a baby.
And you had a baby at what age?
I think I was 15.
15 years old. Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's so young to have a child. Mm-hmm. You're still a child at that age.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you. I've had many friends of mine, lots of people in my high school when I was growing up that had kids that young, and that we're like the same age now, and their kids are all grown and shit. It's like they're grandkids, they're grandparents already and stuff. But it's like it's tough to be a mother at a very young age like that. Mm-hmm. Were you happy when you had the baby, or were you scared, or do you remember your emotions like as you were going through that process?
I think given the circumstances, had I not had a supportive family, I probably, I don't think I would be where I am today. But I had such a great support system that it actually made me a stronger person. And I think now looking back, it's made me a better athlete.
Yeah, so your family was really cool about you having the baby, and they kind of helped you out with that?
So in the sense that they loved me through the process, and it was a little bit of tough love in the beginning because it was a decision that I had made, and I kind of had to live with those decisions. Yes. But they just offered their support in ways that emotional support, they didn't make it easy for, they weren't watching my kid on the weekend. They're like, nope, you had your baby. Respect. It's time to go to work. It's time to go to school. Yeah. That's life. And, it made me a tougher person.
Was the father of your daughter helping you out or was you guys in a relationship after you had the baby?
For some time, yeah.
Okay. And then he was helping out and stuff, so you weren't just doing everything alone.
So he did leave for a little while, and then had came back.
Oh, okay, that's cool. And then so you were 15, you have a baby, and what's the plan after that? Like, what are you thinking in your head? Like, you're just gonna go get a job and work, or are you gonna finish school? Like, what is your mindset at that point?
So at that, I've always one thing that I've realized just even at that young age was that I work hard. And so right after I had her, I ended up getting 2 jobs, saved all my money to get a car, graduated. Oh, ended up getting my GED. Got my GED, got the 2 jobs. I think actually at one point I worked 3 jobs, and then got the car and then went to school. And I ended up basically getting my AA. And after that, I had another boyfriend. Serenity had grown up. She was about probably like 6 or 7 by this time. And that man broke my heart. I got really fat right before that breakup. And then that breakup is what kind of like, I was like, you know what? I'm still young and I'm going to go for it again. And so I just dove into martial arts again. And ever since then, I just had.
Wait, dove it into martial arts like what? Like
I took it full time. So
where did you start? You're like out of nowhere. You just wake up one
this
day.
man devastated me. And then I was like, oh, heck no, I'm fat. And now I'm like, I just wanted to become something. And I had always had a passion for martial arts because of my upbringing.
And were you watching like MMA at the time?
Yeah. So I had gone to Millennia right before I had gotten pregnant. And then
shout out to Millennia.
Yeah.
Great gym.
They are. And then so I'm like 15. Had the baby, was in it like at a recreational level.
Yeah.
And was in and out, but never consistent. Went to school. I met somebody at the gym. We had a relationship for about a year. And then during that year, I had worked for somebody inside of the gym. And so I had never really left. So I was always in that environment, being a fight fan, being just someone who trained recreationally.
What was your favorite part of the training?
The hard work.
No, like as far as, were you doing MMA training or were you hitting the bags or were you doing jiu-jitsu?
It was striking.
Striking.
So I didn't really start jiu-jitsu until probably, I want to say maybe 2015, 2014. And it was after my second child. So
you started striking.
Yeah. Striking's always been my where I've
were
come
you
from.
wanting to do at the time, were you thinking like do like, you know, stand-up fights or like Muay Thai or kickboxing?
Muay Thai. Yeah. Okay. So I was into Muay Thai, and then from Muay Thai I had started I competed, didn't do well, but never quit. So
but you were gaining experience, right, which is good.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
And from there I had just started competing in MMA. I had one MMA fight. Then
wait, hold on. You didn't even tell me anything about jiu-jitsu yet.
Right. Because I hadn't even done jiu-jitsu when I did that.
You
MMA
did an MMA
thing.
fight without any jiu-jitsu?
Like barely. Like if you watch,
don't do that, people.
On. If you watch my first MMA fight,
you didn't do any practice jiu-jitsu, 0.
Like I never, like maybe like just a little bit, but nothing like to where you'd think the way I train now and how my fights play out. Yeah, I love jiu-jitsu at like 2015. No, absolutely.
Guys at home, do not take an MMA fight. Warning.
But like a lot of people do that, so don't.
I bet they still do. That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
So if you do go look at my first MMA fight, I do an armbar, but it's horrible. I don't know how she did not get out of the armbar, but it was trash. I was like, oh my god, how embarrassing!
But you armbarred her still.
I armbarred her, and so it's kind of funny.
How many months were you into MMA training before you took a fight?
Probably a year and a half.
Yeah. Okay, so you had a little bit of experience, but but in that year and a half,
but never wrestled, so I don't know how I even got a takedown. Because I swear, I feel like learning a single leg took me about 5 years.
Yeah, yeah, especially if you didn't grow up doing it, it's even more difficult, especially the wrestling.
Yeah, so I think the wrestling, if anything, has always been the hardest thing.
Yeah, it's always gonna be the hardest thing, and that's why like the wrestling and MMA is so big, because when those guys that are grow up doing it, they have such a big advantage. You can't catch up to that,
right?
So they're always gonna. You got to work around that and learn how to deal with that and be tactical. But yeah, so you took your first MMA fight and you win by armbar, and then you were like, "Oh shit!"
I was like hyped up. I was like, "Look, maybe I got a chance. I can fucking do this." Yeah. And then I got pregnant again. Surprise! And then after that, I was like, "I quit. That's it. I'm done." and I'm never doing this again. But then that was like during my pregnancy. But then I was like, you know what? No, the person I was with at the time, I said, you know, give me a year. We didn't plan on having a baby, but give me a year to bond with my child and get myself back, reclaim my body back, my being athletic and things like this. So he did that. I had the year with Nelly, and then I remember somebody came through the gym, and it was Jason House, and he was talking to Romy, and I was like, I don't even think I was like, I don't know, I was just at the front desk working, and I remember Romy talking to him and say, hey, yeah, you know, we got a couple professional. Oh, at the time we didn't even have that many professional fighters. But there was people that were coming up, and I remember I was just sitting there. I'm like, I'm just watching the conversation. I'm like, hey, what about me? I want a chance, but I had only had one fight.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, but damn, I was like, I have 2 kids. Like, I'm getting older. Fuck it. I want my chance. So yeah. I remember saying to Romy, I'm like, it wasn't even like this conversation we had outside. We were in class, and I was salty. I was like, how dare you not even consider me? And my feelings were like all in my chest, and I was like, anyways, I'll just keep working hard, and maybe you'll fucking think about me one day. And so, but actually, you know what? I remember he walked away from me. He came back. He was like, how many fights do you have? And I was like, 1. He was like, well, you want to do this? And I was like, I want to do this. Yeah. And so ever since then, he put in a good word for me with Jason, and I got signed with Iridium. Yeah. And even then, like, I remember for my first fight, we were in the airport. He was like, and I'm cutting weight. And he was like, so you want to do this? And I was like, well, fucking ask me now. We're in the airport. We're already going to fucking go. The contract signed like 2 months ago. You asked me now. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. I'm like, we're good to go. We're golden. And then ever since then, you know, I've been doing it.
Yeah. So as you signed with Iridium, which let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, of course.
That's a big agency. That's one thing that like can help your career a lot, because they actually can, you know, being a part of a gym like that has a good name and have the access to the agents is kind of easier for you to get fights and stuff.
Exactly.
In your weight class, and you fight at Strawweight your whole career?
So no, I had fought at 125 was for my first fight. And well, actually, I'm just kidding. My 2 first fights were at 125. The last 2 were at 115.
115. What do you feel more comfortable with?
So 115 is a cut.
115 is
a legitimate cut. Yeah. 125, I'm like, whatever, that's easy. But I mean, for me, it was like 125 and 115 is a fucking big difference. But it's worth it. Like, I feel strong. I feel good. I had fought a Belgium girl, and I remember thinking,
in your amateur or your pro career?
Pro. After that
Nadine?
fight, yeah, Nadine Mandua. Yeah, our last names were like
and
similar.
LFA. Yeah, they're not too far apart.
Yeah, so she's a big girl, and I remember feeling like after
this
fight,
was your second fight, right? This because you won your first fight, which was the amateur fight by the armbar.
Armbar, yes.
And then your second, you had a knee bar in your first. You didn't even tell us about the first pro fight.
That was my first pro fight, yeah. Which, by the way, I did make his LFA history with doing that, so that was cool.
What, with the first knee bar or
first female knee bar in LFA history?
Oh, that's sick. Yeah. See, that's when I was looking at your record, I saw submission. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a jiu-jitsu girl for sure.
For sure. That's what I like to see, because I think that's like at the highest levels, that's like that can help so much, especially like as it keeps evolving, you know. So you won your first fight in LFA by knee bar in the first round. Yeah, that must have been crazy.
It was crazy.
Ambar de la Heron.
Yes.
Was she tough?
She was tough, and she was scary as fuck too, because she wasn't about to she was like intimidating. Yeah. The face-offs. I had watched her. I always geek out on the fights. Like, I always watch the girls I'm gonna fight. I watch all their fight videos and stuff like that. So
that's cool.
I was watching all their little mannerisms.
So you start your career off. Your first 2 fights are submissions. Were you comfortable in the striking? Like, did you feel? Because I saw you one of your fights. I'm not gonna say which one yet, because we're gonna get there.
Okay.
But I feel like you look like real good on your feet too, and I saw seen your sister fight for sure too, and she looks real comfortable on her feet. But then you girls are both really good on the ground too, so it's like you're good at everything. But yeah, your second fight you won by decision. This is your first time going to decision.
Yeah. So Nadine, what is her record now? Can you see it?
Yeah, I can check right now. Nadine looks like she's 2-6.
Okay. So the one thing I will say about Nadine, and I feel so bad because she's 2-6, but she's tough.
Yeah.
And she takes fights against tough girls.
Yeah.
There'll be girls that will kind of like just kind of sit back and take fights that are, you know, like, oh, I know, I guarantee I know I'm gonna win. But if you look at the girls she's fought, those girls are just like on winning streaks.
That's how women's MMA is, because I have a student as well, Christina Marks. She fought on the Ultimate Fighter reality show.
Okay.
She fought for the UFC. She's fought like she got thrown like she fought, you know, Olympic wrestler Sandra McMahon, like it was crazy. She fought Colleen Schneider, like, you know what I'm saying. She's fought Montana De La Rosa. She had all her fights her record is like that.
Yeah,
she's got I think one more loss than wins, but like if you look at her record, it's like all tough fights.
Then if you look at Nadine's like amateur record, she's like was on a tear. She was like really doing good. Yeah, she had a winning record. She was
undefeated almost until she was like 4-1 until she got But that's women's MMA.
Yeah,
that's women's MMA. You there's so many good fighters in women's MMA, and it's just like it's tough to get fights, number one, and then number two, like you might get a really tough fight right off the bat, and that's just how it goes. So you win your first 2 pro fights, you're 2-0, and then what happens with LFA? Why don't you stay with LFA?
Well, so just at the time, it was nothing. I loved LFA. LFA treated me amazing. If I would fight for them anytime. Yeah. But it was more just I just couldn't get a fight
in LFA.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I had.
And you don't want to wait around either.
Yeah.
You want to fight.
So I had signed with them, and I had to actually wait out that agreement before I could even fight outside of it, which was sad.
How long of a wait was it?
I want to say it was just a year agreement. And so once I had to actually like wait out that contract, then I fought with Fury. Yeah.
And then you fought Macy
Bro.
Yeah. On June 26, 2022. Was she tough?
She was tough.
She's undefeated.
She's not undefeated.
She's 4-0. That's what
maybe in amateur.
In amateur she got beat. It says she's as a pro it says 4-0.
Well, she should be 4-2 or something.
What up, everybody? Want to take a quick second out of the podcast just to give a shout out to our sponsor, the best criminal defense attorney I know. The last time I got in trouble, I needed somebody that was going to look into my case and actually fight for me and get me the best deal possible, and he did that. And I'll make sure that he does that for you. Make sure you shout me out if you guys reach out to him. They're the sponsor of the Convo. You know anybody, a family member or yourself that make a mistake, you want somebody like him on your side. Arash, please let everybody know how they can get a hold of you.
Thank you. Arash Hashemi, 310-448-1529, or hashemilaw.com, HASHEMILAW.com, or just Google hashtag Better Call Hash. Remember that, Better Call Hash. You'll find me on every social media channel all over the internet. 310-448-1529.
You better call Hash. SHERDOG, you need to update your guys' stats, bro.
Oh, because
get
she
on
lost.
Your shit, man.
How would she be? How would she be 4-0 if she lost?
Oh yeah, I don't know. That's the record that they have right here. Her nickname's Mako. They're 4-0. Her last fight, February 3rd, 2023. Maybe they haven't updated it, but she looks like she's had a lot of fights.
Yeah, so I had when I was looking her up when we're in that stage of like, oh, are we gonna take the fight or whatever? But she had I guess she was like a Golden Gloves boxer and things like that, and she was undefeated in boxing. So that was cool.
Yeah. Well, what happened with that fight? Where do you think what went wrong? Was it close?
She lost that fight.
With you?
With me. That's what I was saying. Is she can't be 4-0 if she lost.
Why is it saying that you lost? Look at that. They have your record wrong then.
Yeah. I don't know. That's
You
weird.
beat Macy?
I beat Macy, yeah.
Okay, so SHERDOG, you guys need to fix your stats up here. So okay, so then there's no loss on your records?
No, I'm 4-0.
You're 4-0.
What does it have me on there? Pull it up. Let me see.
Tapology. Okay. Well, SHERDOG, you know what? SHERDOG, this is shout out to you guys. Y'all need to fix her record.
What does it say?
It says 3-1.
That's horrible.
Yeah, SHERDOG.
Really
What's up with that?
up.
Yeah, I was like, we're talking to an undefeated champ, and you
messed up.
You got 3-1. What the hell?
That's messed up.
I hope this goes on
Macy
the
doesn't have
internet,
anything to do
you
with
guys
that.
be sleeping on your job. For real. All right, but yeah, okay, now I got it. Yeah. Okay, so then what happens after that?
So I had fought Macy. Oh, and then I got offered to fight Laura Guardo.
I saw like 3 cancellations. Is that?
Yeah, that was sad.
What was that? Is that weight cut stuff?
No,
or just
the
like people
first
falling out?
No, the first 2 had nothing to do with me. That those were the girls I was trying to fight. I don't know what happened. They just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And then the second time or whatever, it must be like a cancellation with Laura Guardo. I had a massive cut above my eye. That was so bad. My eye was well, I don't even remember. I think I got like 7 or 8 stitches right before I was supposed to fight, and so that's why I had to pull out. But we rescheduled it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you subbed her.
And then I subbed her.
You're subbing everybody. This is what I want to see. And what do you think is like your favorite part of, like, do you go for a lot of wrestling? Because I haven't got to see too many of your fights because there's not a lot of them out there. But like, do you like to go for takedowns, or do you just whatever happens, or do you like to initiate like your game on them?
So we always have a game plan. Yeah, obviously,
of course. Yeah.
With Laura, it was like.
But your comfortability spot seems to be like, let's take this thing to the ground.
But that's why when Laura came up, obviously I wanted to fight her because she was just coming off the Ultimate Fighter show. And so I wanted the challenge. I knew she was going to be tough, and I knew it was going to look good if I beat her. So I was like, I need that.
Yeah.
And so I also knew she had decent striking, but obviously she was known for her wrestling. And with that, I was like, oh, okay, well, take me down. I know jujitsu. Like, I think it would be a horrible idea if her game plan was to take me down. So,
and that's probably what did she do that?
Yeah.
She fell right into the trap kind of type thing.
Yeah, and so I was just like, I knew I trusted my striking, and then I trusted my jujitsu, so I knew whether it was going to be on our feet or on the ground, I was going to be okay.
Yeah. And then how did you finish her?
That was with the mounted gogo plata.
Mounted gogo plata, yeah. I think that, they have all the submissions and stuff are on SHERDOG and Tapology. You're gonna have to fix it up. These are all wrong.
Are you telling me it's wrong on there too?
Yeah, like it should say, the right submission. It's not it's not a they don't explain it right, but yeah, it's all good. All good. But yeah, that's sick. That's one of my favorite submissions, gogo plata. It's hard to get too. But in that position that you were in against the cage, that was very slick. Did you know you had it sunk in right away?
Yeah, so no, I didn't feel like I had it at first, but once I got my
I saw you look at the clock first. Why did you look at the clock?
I was trying to see like where she was at. Like there was like cameras. There's a big ass screen right there, and I was looking. I was like, which way are you gonna go? Which way are you gonna go?
Damn,
and then she turned in.
To look up there. Yeah, because you could see it. I put the highlight on my story.
And that's when I grabbed her head. Yeah, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not gonna fucking let go of this.
and then that's crazy because like I'm like when I was watching the video, I was like, did she know that she had it? Like, because you look up and then the next thing you know, you're like, oh shit, bang, and then it's sunk in, and then she tries to like kind of stack you, and then you could tell she's struggling, and boom, you end up in the mount.
Yeah, I think when you compete, your heart's pumping, and you're breathing hard. And once I cut off that airway, it was like, oh fuck. Yeah. But I remember there's like a certain part where I kind of it was right when I got on top. I hipped in and I was like, it's over. And then you know how it is, like you don't let go until the ref pulls you off. And so regardless, that's kind of messed up. But just because you never know,
right?
I don't.
You gotta do what you
I
gotta
don't
do.
ever do when like people tap on me. I'm like,
that's not
sorry,
yeah,
I love
that's not
you.
your, that's not your
know?
problem to deal with. Yeah, the rules are, fight till they stop it, and
Mm-hmm.
and you know what? That's your life on the line. You got to do what you got to do, and the referee, I don't know why they still have referees that don't do jiu-jitsu. Like, in MMA, it's fucking crazy. Like, how do you do that? Like, you don't know when the guy's getting submitted. Like
Yeah, there's been some
you shouldn't
really
be in there.
fucked up stuff.
Yeah, they shouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
You should have to, in my opinion.
But somehow, like, maybe they could get fined or something. So, like maybe a little more level of accountability.
It's like you should at least be a blue belt. At least at least like that should be one of the requirements to be a referee in MMA. You should at least know like what it feels like to be in a submission and like when you're about to go out. And there's people in there that are. The guy's out for like a minute and the guy's just squeezing on the choke and the referee's just sitting there looking at him like, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. There's been some crazy fights like that. But yeah, I mean, that's it just shows it's because it's not a high paying job either. And there's no fucking reward for them either. It's like they're never gonna get a pat on the back like they did a good job either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those what is it? What's the word I'm looking
Thankless
for?
jobs?
Thankless jobs. Yes. Like you're not gonna get thanked either way. It doesn't matter. And
if you make the wrong call, you're not gonna be.
If you stop it too early, or you stopped it too late. Either way, you're gonna get the blame somehow, and someone's gonna be upset at you. So fuck that job.
Yeah, that's a rough one. That's a rough one.
Chris Lieben is doing that now. Chris Lieben, have you heard of Chris Lieben? Chris the Crippler Lieben. He was on like the first Ultimate Fighter reality show. He should be coming through hopefully soon too. Yeah, he's. See, I believe guys like that you could have as a referee.
Maybe like more retired fighters.
Yeah, because okay, you've been punched in the face, you've been submitted, you've done jiu-jitsu, like you know what it feels like to get slammed. Like those guys should be, and they should get paid well to do it.
Because some refs are fucking dicks.
Yeah. For sure.
They're dicks. I'm like, I can tell you've never fought a day in your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. They just, they're like a police officer. They express it.
Exactly.
Not all police officers are bad, but they're, the ones that need to express themselves, like, and show authority when they don't need to. Yeah. There's like that in everything, So you get that go plot. I saw the emotions after you got that. You were so like, you were on top of the world. You became a champion. Did you meet Uriah?
I did. For a split second. I did. Yeah.
Shout out to Uriah Faber. Yeah, I like that promotion. It's a good promotion.
Yeah, they're doing
to fight
good.
for, and he's got a good name, and I'm sure it's a good feeder to like for your career as you. So after that, what was on your mind after that? You get the belt, and then it's like, okay, what? Now it's time to defend the belt, right?
Right.
This is going to be your first defense coming up.
It is.
And it's going to be on February 22nd.
Yes.
And it's going to be at
Tachi Palace.
Coming up quick here.
It is.
It means I got to get this podcast out soon. Okay, so who are you fighting?
I am fighting Tina Black.
Tina Black. Smooth E, what is Tina Black's record? Can we look up Tina Black MMA and see what she's like? Have you been studying her?
I have.
Is she what's she like? What's her style?
She has a lot of footwork and striking.
She's a striker. Good record?
Good record. Tough girl.
She's coming for your championship. Where does she fight? Is she a Cali girl or does she fight?
She I want to say she's native. Huh?
She's 12-4. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a good fight.
It is.
Yeah, it's a tough fight. You're undefeated though.
I am.
You don't know what it's like to lose, and you're hopefully never gonna know what it's like to lose. So she's a striker. I think that tells you right there, and I'm sure people aren't dumb these days. They know who they're fighting, and it's obvious what the game plan is. It's just who implements their game plan on the night, well.
Right.
And this fight's gonna be at your same weight class at 115. How is it? Is it gonna be a tough weight cut for you this time? You think? No, you got it dialed in. Do you diet from like a long way out? What do you keep your like walk around weight at?
So prior to this, I was like, we're not gonna go through this horrible weight cut like we did last time. We're gonna dial it down a little better. So where I walk around pretty light.
Like,
and so 132.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, so that cut.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be bad at all.
And you have help with that? Do you have a nutritionist and all that? Do you are you able now to be a full-time fighter at being a champion?
No.
Absolutely. Somehow I knew the answer to that question. And I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I think you should be able to do. I think more people should sponsor you. I think that's why I hope us putting this podcast will help you. Promote yourself a little bit because you girls are so technical and so good, and you should be able to give it your full time and be able to recover and rest. And then I think a lot of people don't understand how difficult it is to fight and to train to fight. It's not an easy thing to do. And then on top of that, you got to do a regular job. That's fucking difficult. But hopefully soon you'll be at a point where you'll be able to do that full time, and hopefully you'll have some more sponsors. So this could be a big fight for you. Are you locked in a contract with A1 right now?
No.
So this is just one fight at a time, and you're just defending your championship. So this might be your last fight for them.
It might be.
If a big organization such as like the UFC comes calling or PFL, or which I think that's what's going to happen, because I think you got a very smart head on your shoulders. I think you know how to beat this girl. We don't need to tell anyone how it's going to happen. And I would love to actually help you too. So you're more than welcome to come down to our gym and train. And I'd love to, I'm sure you have great training, but I've been training jiu-jitsu a long time. And you got me on your side. If you need any help, any extra jiu-jitsu and MMA help, I would love to help support you and help you get ready, because I want to see you definitely defend a championship. What's your goal though? Like after let's say, we get through this, there's a submission, boom, next. And then if you had your choice, like where would you want to go?
I want to go to the UFC.
The UFC, you hear that, UFC? Let's get her in there. She's undefeated, Uriah Faber, hey. So let's say you did get a shot in the UFC. At that point, you would definitely be able to train full time, because at that point, you would definitely be able to get some more sponsorships and some more help, and because you would want to give that fight your everything and train, and I see it happening for you. Is there anyone in particular in the UFC? Like, who's your? I didn't even ask you this. Who do you look up to as like a woman fighter? Who do you like to watch fight?
So obviously, as a girl, and I have my athletes that I keep an eye on that I'm a fan of. I like Amanda Lemos. I've always liked her. Right when she was coming up, I've always always knew who she was.
She's fun to watch.
Yeah, she hits hard. She reminds me of Amanda Nunes when she fucking cracks. She fucking connects. So I like her. Vanessa Demopoulos, again, she's just somebody that I've kind of watched from LFA to get to the UFC. Lupi Godinez. They fought each other. It was war. It was good. Got hands. She got hands, and she has wrestling.
Yeah.
So
I like Lupi. She's tough.
She's a beast.
Yeah. That's a crazy division too.
Yeah.
I would like to see you in the UFC. I think that's the best place for you. I think that's where you're gonna get the toughest competition. I think PFL and Bellator is cool too, but I think especially with the merger now, they've got some unwinding to do.
Yeah.
So best case scenario for you would be to end up in the UFC and then just go straight undefeated there and then get a couple wins and fight for a championship. That'd be the best road. So do you have any plans on how long you want to fight for?
Nope.
No,
I'm going until the wheels come off.
Just day by day. Yeah, that's the way. That's the way to do it.
Yeah,
that's good. Anything else besides fighting going on in your life right now? Are you what's your job? What do you do for a day job?
For my day job, I teach kids and adults at Millennia.
Okay, so you're teaching at the gym.
Yeah, so
okay,
I never get days off. All right, I'm always in the gym.
There you go. So that's not bad. No, you can't call that a job.
No, it's nice. Yeah, no, honestly.
People ask me, do you work? I'm like, I've been in the gym now going on almost 20 years, but I still can't look at it as work. Because it's fun.
Imagine working an actual job.
No way. Wouldn't happen. No. I have worked a job for a week. And then I just pretended to go to the bathroom and then walked out the back. Never came back.
Yeah, are you serious?
I couldn't do it. Yeah, I did the same. So I'll tell you a funny story. I did the same. You're gonna laugh at this, right? As I graduated, well, I didn't really graduate high school. I walked off on the summer after I cheated on this computers and figured out a way to get my credits. Anyways, I get all the books and shit, right? All the college books. I went to OCC. I was gonna go to college and all this stuff. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just was gonna do the general education stuff. I got all the books. I got the backpack, all that. I walked into the class. I sat in the seat. I sat there for about 5 minutes. I looked around. I got up, walked out, and left, and never looked back.
So this was college.
This was college.
Okay.
The first day, I decided I was not gonna do that shit. It just wasn't for me. But see, that's good. See, like being a fighter, the only way you could actually be comfortable and do that is being in the gym like that. And then you're also teaching. So you're what do you teach at Millennia?
So I teach striking fundamentals and jiu-jitsu fundamentals, and
For the adults?
For adults and kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I do that. I also like work their front desk. So you see me, hi, welcome to Millennium MMA. I'm here to help you.
So you're the manager, the teacher. You do a lot of stuff. The fighter. You play a lot of roles out of that gym. That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Honestly, I love it, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah,
because
and you know what I believe like is also good for you, especially that you're fighting, is when you're teaching techniques, it makes you better. It makes you.
Exactly.
It makes you understand the techniques better. It makes you just better when you know the details. When you know the details of what you're doing, it transfers over.
Yeah, I feel like you have to learn how to teach. Like, you don't just show up one day and know how to explain something. Like, I had to learn how to do that. It was a process.
100%.
And I feel bad for the people that had to learn with me to, like, learn how to teach them. I was like, bear with me, but I'm going to try to show you how to do this, all right?
No, I understand 100%. I started, like, when I got to my coach's gym, I started teaching, like, as a white belt. Like, they knew I needed to, like, be in the gym and stay out of trouble, and they saw that I was going to be really good. So come help us with the kids class. Oh, okay. And, through the kids class. And then my coach used to also make me do things like, okay, I don't know any jiu-jitsu. Just show me how to do some moves. And every day I would kind of like practice teaching. Like, you don't tell me the details. Like, you have to 100%. It's just like getting good at fighting. You have to practice. It's being a coach is an ever evolving thing. And I've been coaching for a long time now, and I feel like I'm still getting better and still, learning to be a better coach. Because once you learn that it's not just being their teacher, and there's a lot more involved besides, just showing them some moves, and you got to be a mentor and a positive role model and a counselor, sometimes a doctor. You have to play all roles for your students sometimes. So, but it's like one of the most rewarding and best things that you could do for your life is to teach martial arts and help people. It's very rewarding, and it's a positive thing. So that's cool that you're doing that.
Yeah.
And I see you teach kids, so that's really cool too. So respect to that. Okay, so we're just getting ready. We're the hopes are we're gonna go to the UFC after this fight. Yes. We're gonna win this fight because you're focused on this fight ahead. This is an important fight. February 22nd. We're going to try to get this W. We're going to try to strangle this young lady, and then we're going to try to get in the UFC. That's the goal, and I know it's going to happen. And then after that, we go for the championship of the UFC. And then we got to keep having you come back and tell us what's next. And I appreciate you coming here today and spending some time with me and telling me like how you got into fighting and everything. And I got to meet your kids, which they're really well behaved and good. And so, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for women's MMA. I'm rooting for, especially the moms like you, like, cause I have a student that's a mom like you that fights, and I want to see you all win. And I wish there was more money for all of you, cause you all deserve it. And especially jiu-jitsu girl fighters, I'm a big fan. I want to see that go plata. You got to pull off some crazy shit on the next one.
You never know.
So, Taylor, if there's anybody you want to thank, if you any sponsors, anybody you want to shout out, now's the time. You want to shout out your family members or your kids or anybody. The screen's all yours.
Yeah, of course. I'd like to thank Millennium MMA, Romeo Rom. I'd like to thank some of my sponsors. I have Dame, who is a soap company, and also I have some barbershop sponsors and paralegal services. I'll go ahead and tag them in my maybe a post-fight thing. Yeah, my in my Instagram story. So you'll check them out
when we post the link on the YouTube. Let's get it. Let's defend this title, the A1 championship for Uriah Favors promotion. We're gonna be defending the title, guys. February 22nd at
Tachi Palace.
Google it, get you a ticket, and go see her on the way to the UFC. It's been a great episode. Thank you for being here. Yep, respect. I know you're gonna do what you're gonna do. I'd love to be, like I said, come train. I'd love to show you some stuff. We'll keep it secret. Nobody's gotta know. I'll show you some little extra tricks because I'm a submission guy. I love submissions. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Taylor Mauldin is on Instagram as well. What's your Instagram handle?
Taylor_Mauldin _93.
MAULDIN _93. Y'all tune in to her. You're looking at follow the journey. She's gonna be a UFC champion. She's already a champion in a big promotion. Y'all be on the lookout. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell your mama, your daddy, and your cousins too. Peace.